first meeting of the Joint Conference Committee on Education as we begin to discuss our recommendations of the state fiscal year 25-26. I'm happy to be joined with my co-chair, Senator Shelley Mayer, and I am joined today by the following members of the State Assembly. To my left, Assemblywoman Nili Razik, Chairman of the Consumer Affairs Committee. Assemblyman Clyde Vannell, Chairman of the Banking Committee. Assemblyman Robert Carroll, Chairman of the Assembly Committee on Libraries. And we're also including with our alternates, Bill Conrad and Noah, I didn't see Noah Burrows here. Okay, hopefully he'll be here a bit later. Additionally, Assemblymember Doug Smith is joining us as the ranker from the Assembly Minority Conference, along with Assemblymember Patrick Chudzinski. Did I get that right? I'll practice. Thank you very much. The Assemblyman Chudzinski is serving as an alternate. The Assemblyman the Assembly would designating Steve Rossi as our recording secretary. Senator Mayer, I'm sure you have some things to say.
Thank you, Chair Benedetto. Good afternoon and welcome to this Education Conference Committee initial meeting. I'm Senator Shelley Mayer, Chair of the Senate Education Committee. I'm honored to co-chair this conference committee with my Assembly colleague, Chair Benedetto. Before I introduce my Senate colleagues, I'd like to say a few words as we begin budget negotiations. Over the next few weeks, our table will discuss important issues, including foundation aid funding, expanding and improving pre-K outside the city of New York, providing free school meals for all students, and how to best ensure students can learn in a distraction-free environment. The Senate is committed to making sure any modifications to the foundation aid formula are responsive to the needs of our students and districts. Our Senate One House added $680 million to the governor's initial proposal. In our budget resolution, we have considered updates to the regional cost index so it more accurately reflects the minimum costs of educating students in certain regions of the state and ensuring that the increase better reflects the reality of rising costs to all of our schools. We'll carefully evaluate these changes and any additional potential modifications to ensure the foundation aid formula meets the needs of our school communities. We look forward to the discussion about cell phones in our schools. The Senate put forth a thoughtful proposal that ensures all students can learn without the pressures and influences of social media while providing school districts with the necessary flexibility to address the unique needs of each of their school communities. Other important topics to be discussed in the next few weeks included continuing our support for students with disabilities, 4201s, 853s, special acts, and 4410 schools, and support for our non-public and religious schools, which represent an important part of our educational ecosystem. It's my hope our table can find agreement on these proposals and more to meet the critical moment our schools are facing. I'll now introduce the Senate members on the conference committee. With me is Senator John Liu, Chair of the Senate New York City Education Committee, Senator Sila Bynoe, Chair of the Senate Libraries Committee, Senator Toby Ann Stavisky, Chair of the Senate Higher Education Committee, Senator Jim Tedisco, Ranking Member of the Senate Education Committee, and two alternates, Senator Leah Webb, and from the minority, Senator Bill Weber. The State Education Department is also at this table, and the Senate designates Karen Reppy as the recording secretary. Chair Benedetto, do you want to introduce or have your other members make some comments?
Yes, thank you very much, Senator. Members of our budget conference, do we have anybody want to say any introductory remarks? Do so at this time. Mr. Smith, do you have anything you want to say? Okay, maybe we'll come back to you, but I do want to introduce, say that we've been joined by Assemblyman Burrows, who we're so glad that he is here. Just my own things, I would like to say, some of the highlights that the Assembly Education Budget proposal to enhance supports to students and to school districts include the following. Increasing school aid by $2.7 billion for a total of $38.5 billion, which includes an increase of $2 billion in foundation aid for a total of $27 billion. Our proposal updates the regional cost index to be the greater of the 2006 index of the 2024 updated values for each region. It increases the English language learner factor of the pupil needs index from 0.5 to 0.65, lowers the income wealth index floor from 0.65 to 0 over 3 years, and provides a minimum increase to every district of 2.9%. It also increasing the funding for universal pre-kindergarten for an additional $327.4 million to expand the UPK slots and increase the minimum pupil rate to $10,000 for districts already providing UPK. Increasing the affordable salary cap for BOCES instructors from $30,000 to $40,000 and phasing it into $60,000 over the next 3 years. It provides an additional $3.4 million funding, increasing schools for the blind and deaf, the 4201 schools, for a total of $116.8 million. Provides also an additional $2 million for My Brother's Keeper for a total of $30 million. Provides for an additional $25 million to support internet-enabled devices for a school band for a total of $38.5 million. Restoring $14.3 million for teacher resource centers, providing $2.5 million increase for library aid, providing an additional $35 million for library capital, providing $12 million for the Office of Cultural Education, and providing an additional $100 million in capital for schools on Native American reservations. Senator Mayer.
Thank you very much. Turning to my colleagues, Senator Liu, do you have some remarks? And we'll go down the line.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Just very briefly, because I look forward to this scintillating meeting all year long. I can't wait to have this important discussion in the Budget Conference Committee. I think Chairperson Mayer has already highlighted the most salient points in the Senate budget resolution as it pertains to education. I'm very proud of what we've been able to do under her leadership. In particular, I'll highlight the need to address real regional cost indices, in particular for the Hudson Valley and New York City. And the proper adjustment of the regional cost index will allow New York City to get its fair share of foundation aid, which rightfully has been increased, but under the executive proposal, New York City would have seen a reduction of nearly $350 million, which would be pretty devastating to public schools in New York City. So I'm glad that the Senate budget resolution corrects that, and hopefully that will make it to the final budget as proposed. Also, the cell phone ban, I think, is a good idea for teaching our kids properly, educating our kids without the distraction and potential malice that is sometimes seen in mobile devices. Bell-to-bell solution may be the answer, but as along with my Senate colleagues, it's important to have some kind of flexibility to recognize the fact that there are districts out there that have already implemented their policies after many years of discussion and negotiation. With that, thank you very much, Madam Chair, for your leadership.
Thank you, Senator Liu. Senator Bino, Chair of the Committee on Libraries.
Good day. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to just take an opportunity to highlight some of the work that we did in the One House budget in the Senate as it relates to the libraries. And so we were able to increase the library operation by $5 million. We also restored $10 million to the construction aid and added $10 million for a total of $20 million for $54 million. And we also had an increase to library aid for $14.2 million. And that's aid to the school districts for the libraries within the school districts. Additionally, I wanted to add that the One House budget includes additional aid to school districts outside of New York City with over 20% of saturation related to charter schools by providing additional aid. And so that was what I wanted to add in addition to the comments already made by our chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Bino. Senator Stavisky, Chair of the Senate Higher Education Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair, both chairs. I'm delighted that we work together on these issues and that we consider education from childhood, early childhood education through postgraduate work, because it should be a seamless transition, a pathway to success once this person leaves school. I'm delighted that foundation aid is going to be improved for New York City. And in terms of the bell-to-bell cell phone issue, I must tell you, I went through school for years without a cell phone. So let's start on the right direction and resolve these issues, and I thank you for chairing this committee.
Thank you, Senator Stavisky. Senator Tedisco, Ranking Member.
Senator, no, what we should be doing is being very deliberative, taking our time, thinking about the budget, interacting with the leaders and the governor on this $259 billion budget, $90 billion increase to 2018 when it was $168 billion. But last year we had one meeting of the subcommittee on one of the most important spending policy issues, maybe of this budget, education. So I have to ask you a question. Are we going to have more than just this one committee, subcommittee? Because we're supposed to be a part of letting the legislature, both majority and minority, not allow three people in a room to really deliberate and not come back to us and let us all put our input in. And that's what subcommittees were all about. By the way, do you remember when these were first initiated, subcommittees, and who initiated the first subcommittees? It was a long time ago. It was 2004, I believe. It was Elliot Spitzer who put subcommittees together in a mother committee. And at that time, we had several subcommittee meetings, and the mother committee had several meetings. And believe it or not, when I became minority leader of the Assembly in 2005, Elliot Spitzer said we have to have 4 people in the room. And myself and the minority leader of the Senate were at the meetings with the governor when I was the minority leader. So my question is, first of all, is this the first and last meeting of the Education Subcommittee, which entails billions of dollars that will be spent on behalf of the taxpayers of New York State? And I just want to know, because I want to take my time, if it is, because I'd like to say some things, but I'd like to say some things along the way as we help the leaders and help both sides of the aisle and help the people get our job done. So is this the first and last meeting? Because last year we had one meeting, I think you remember that, of the Education Committee. And I don't think that's what the subcommittees will be put in place for, Senator. So,
If your opening statement is to ask me a question, which is fine, my answer is that we will take our direction from the mothership which met initially yesterday. They will determine the process for the subcommittees to move forward. If they deem it appropriate for us to have additional meetings, they will instruct us to do so on a bipartisan basis. If they don't, we'll have one meeting. So far, we don't know. And so I appreciate your comments, but we'll take our direction from them.
Okay, well, then I'd like to say a few things.
Okay, can I just say?
Well,
I said
don't tell me
last
not to speed it up, because if this is the one committee we're going to have, I'd like to say my piece, if that's okay.
Yes,
Is there a time limit on this? Yes, there is. What's the time limit, Mr. Liu? Are you in charge of it?
2 minutes.
I would say that we've asked everyone to be brief in their comments, and as I said last year, I appreciate that this is an opportunity for you to be heard, but to be respectful of the fact that this is hopefully an opportunity for you to be heard succinctly without going on indefinitely.
Well, I'm not going to go
To
on.
be polite, which I am.
Well, I'm trying to be polite, too, to my constituents. A $259 billion budget is a lot of money.
Understood.
Billions we're spending in education. If it's-
So go ahead,
It's one
Senator
meeting.
Tedisco.
And as I said, the governor's been talking about affordability, and it's important. But holistically talking about the big budget that we have, the $259 billion budget, we're spending, in this Senate plan, I don't know what the Assembly is exactly, $17 billion more than the governor has given us, $9 billion more in taxes. That's not a cure for affordability. That's exacerbating affordability. That's what's caused a problem with affordability and the cost of living and taxes. And this education budget, it's a priority. The budget we have that is given to us by the Senate, by the governor, and by the Assembly, that has a spending priority problem. And that's what got us 101,000 people to leave the state of New York in the last census. It's a beautiful state. They shouldn't be walking out. We shouldn't have a shortage of nurses, of doctors, of teachers in this state. And a part of the problem is we spend too much, we tax too much, and we borrow too much, but not in education, because education is a priority. Anytime I do a poll with my constituents, and I ask them, how about education? And I've said this before, they support education, spending. They support spending for education. What they don't support is not having spending priorities in the education spending, and that's the same as we have in the larger budget right now. And I'll tell you what I mean. The governor put together a committee. We have a foundation aid that's antiquated. A formula for education that's antiquated. She was right. She put a committee together. Do you know how many recommendations that committee gave us, chair people? 32 recommendations. Do you know how many she addressed in her budget that she gave to us? 3, I believe. 2 of them were important. One was going back and getting the data closer, about 3 or 4 years back, bringing the data up closer. That was for the costs of local school districts, getting that number better for our local school districts. Secondly, she went and got back and got the poverty numbers better than we've ever had them before. They're going to bring us closer to having parity and to having equality in the foundation aid formula, in the school aid formula. Those are good things. But we didn't address the other 30 issues that that committee was talking about. So what you have here are what you had to do to this budget. You had to backfill for the city of New York. You had to backfill for the city of Albany. You didn't really use a formula to do that. You just put the money in there. There are several gaps in this funding program for other rural schools, other urban schools, because the formula really wasn't adjusted. Now, I think the funding is good. I support the funding in this, but I don't support the type of formula we're using for this. It's kind of being gerrymandering like our last redistricting was. And you took care of the city. The formula didn't work for the city. Absolutely right. The formula didn't work for the city of Albany. But it doesn't work for a lot of other school districts which didn't get the funding placed back into it. So this is the part of the budget that concerns me. We've got to get that formula better. We've got to have more parity, and we've got to have more equity. And I think we should have more meetings along the way. We're a subcommittee, majority, minority. We should all be interacting with those leaders who sit there and talk about the $259 billion in spending. So thank you for the time you've given
Thank
me
you,
to say
Senator.
my piece.
Thank you, Senator Tedisco. I would just add that I think there was a tremendous good faith effort in the majorities in the Senate and Assembly to address not only the historical inequities that now exist in the formula, but a number of the other issues that address in schools throughout the state, and particularly rural schools, urban schools outside the city of New York, suburban schools. There's an effort across the board to try to minimize the tax burden on individual districts and maximize what students need. So I'm confident that working together, we'll actually achieve a result that is good for students. It does show an improvement in the formula. The Assembly's version is a very thoughtful effort that's very close to the Senate majorities, and I appreciate your comments. I am confident we will move towards a very fair, good budget for schools throughout the state, and that certainly has been top of mind, I think, for all members here, but thank you for your comments. Any other further comments?
Oh, I think we have a few.
Okay.
The Assembly is not one to keep our mouth shut on things, and we certainly want to say, and you know, we've been discussing for many years about the funding formula, and we realized changes must be made, and we talked over many, many years, and we finally seem to be at a point where we're ready to do something, and this can serve as a beginning for it. I have some wonderful members of the Assembly who may want to say a couple of words, starting with Assemblywoman Razik.
Thank you, Chair Benedetto, and thank you to our counterparts in the Senate for your thoughtfulness when it comes to education issues and policy across the state. In particular, my state senator, Senator Liu, who represents for so many New York City public schools and the school system at large. I know that I share in our discussion and prioritizing our biggest issues impacting teachers, students, and administrators, not just in New York City, but across the state. I know that we can share that, Mr. Tedisco, as a priority. Throughout our time in the legislature, the majority has always been a steadfast advocate for our schools, for public education, fighting to ensure that our schools actually receive the funding that they deserve and that our students and educators feel that they have the resources they need to thrive. And this year is no different. We will continue to push for a state budget that includes that additional funding for the city of New York, to fund our classrooms, to make sure that our class sizes matter, and that we're investing in career and technical education, that we're investing in teacher centers because we know that those work. And personally, I'll continue to push and champion for our non-publics getting the STEM and the music and science funding that they deserve as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Assemblywoman Razik. Assemblyman Vanel, do you want to say anything?
Wanted to make sure that, in this budget that we're going to be focusing on, as the Assemblywoman stated, CTE, very important that we have career and technical education throughout the state. Also, we're making sure that there's technology in our classrooms and that we prepare our students for the economies of tomorrow. Really making sure that we properly fund our schools throughout the entire state so that they get, training in artificial intelligence and in technology. We're focused on a number of different types of priorities. And as the Assemblywoman stated, and as everyone has stated here, that we educate folks throughout the entire state. So that's why we're excited to be here and to go through this process and to really make sure that we work hard for the students, for the administrators, and for the educators. So we're going to be working really hard this year and excited to be on this committee.
Thank you, Assemblyman Vanel. Assemblyman Carroll.
Thank you, Chair Benedetto. It is wonderful to serve on this committee with you and my Senate colleagues. I would like to highlight a few things that the Assembly has done in its one-house budget for libraries in particular that I think are very important to note. The Assembly provided an additional $14.8 million in school library material aid for a total of $32.4 million. That's a record level of funding for our school libraries, which are integral to making sure that our students have the resources they desperately need. We also made sure that we brought back funding that had been cut in the governor's budget for the Schomburg Center for Black Culture and the Langston Hughes Cultural Center in the Queens Library Center, which are vital research libraries in Queens and Manhattan, and those systems I know need that money desperately. I would like to also say that I think it is vital for this committee to continue the good work we did last year in implementing the governor's Back to Basics plan and the teacher training that was done there through our teacher centers, and making sure they continue to get that funding, because like Senator Stavisky said, we want to make sure, whether it be from pre-K through colleges, that students are receiving evidence-based instruction that meets today's best practices. And I hope over the next few weeks, we will make sure that evidence-based instruction in our grammar schools, as well as in our libraries, have the resources so that children who are struggling to learn to read are given the proper supports and education that they so desperately need. And I hope I can work with all of you to make sure that we have the funding and the teacher training that is necessary to provide that.
Assemblyman Carroll, thank you very much. Assemblyman Conrad.
Thank you, Chair Benedetto, and thank you to my colleagues. I will just echo, as a teacher, I said brevity was beautiful when I taught my teaching and writing classes, but I have to echo the strong importance of including the BOCES salary cap for CTE and how important that is to get through in the final budget, as well as our discussion around school cell phones and the authority and so on to stop that practice in schools or limit it in some way. I'm very encouraged by that conversation. And I have to say thank you to all our colleagues, because I think we've made quite a bit of progress on foundation aid from where we were in the gap elimination issues, and let's continue this good work. Thank you, Chair.
Conrad, thank you very much. Mr. Burrows.
Thank you, Chair Benedetto. As my colleagues have stated, and I would like to state, I am in favor of the bell-to-bell ban. And unlike Senator Stavisky, I was in high school when we had cell phones. But I think for her reason in saying that we don't need cell phones, in college I did have cell phones. In high school I had a cell phone, but it wasn't as much of a hindrance then as it is today. With the social media applications, it makes it very, very difficult for children to focus. And so as I stated previously, as an educator, I oppose cell phones in the classroom. I did not allow cell phones in my classroom. There are some teachers who may not be as proficient as I was to, have students not use those cell phones in class. And so I think it's our duty and our effort, we have to have a continued effort to make sure that those don't hinder students in the future. And so being part of this committee, I'm so happy to be a part of, and I'm so excited that we can work to make those things become a daily normal, that we don't have these cell phones in class. There's so many restrictions, there's so many barriers because of cell phones. I just want to see that problem go away. Thank you.
Assemblyman Burrows, thank you very much for your comments. Assemblyman Doug Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Education's something that we're not too far apart on the minority and majority side. It's something that I think we all view as a priority. I think it's a place that we've come a lot closer to educating our children and fully funding those things over the years. Over the last 15 years that I've been really involved in the education system, we've gotten a lot closer. So as we enter the final stages of the budget negotiations, the Minority Conference, we urge the importance of continuing the five-way discussions. And regarding the One House Assembly budget, we're very pleased to see that both majorities have continued the conversation about updating the regional cost index within foundation aid to better reflect the economic realities that our school districts are facing. The weeks ahead, it's important that we also continue to consider how we support students with disabilities in the context of that foundation aid. We're very, very pleased to see that there's a lot of consensus in both houses, bipartisan across both houses, to increase the aidable salary cap of BOCES staff. It's so critical, as we all know, that we invest in our CTE programs to ensure that our students have access to workforce development programs that provide a direct pipeline to those high-paying jobs in the trades. Thinking and hoping that this is the year we finally get it done. And Mr. Chair, if I could, to conclude our conference's comments, Assemblyman Kluginski. Thank you.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who had a problem. Mr. Chudzinski, you are the caboose here.
Thank you. Just to add on to what my colleague had mentioned, as our negotiations continue, our conference will continue to advocate for vitally important issues on behalf of our school communities, including scaling back the unworkable zero-emission school bus mandate and ensuring our special education schools receive similar attention to their public school counterparts. Our conference will also continue advocating for important issues impacting libraries across the state, including ensuring library aid is maintained at least at current statutory levels. Also, restoring cuts that the governor made to library construction aid and ensuring Novel New York database is funded at the adequate level so our libraries retain access to online resources that they rely on. In closing, while we prioritize adequate funding for our schools and libraries, we also recognize that there are fiscal challenges on the horizon that will require our leaders at all levels of government to make tough decisions on how we allocate funds. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Assemblyman, thank you very much. Senator, you have anything else you want to say?
No, I don't, and I appreciate, I think on balance, we really have a very strong consensus on a bipartisan, bicameral basis here, that this is the highest priority, to do the very best we can across the state for our students and our schools. And I'm very optimistic. We've taken big steps forward this year, and I look forward to getting to an on-time, balanced budget that prioritizes education.
From your lips to God's ears. Well, then this will conclude the first meeting of the Education Conference Committee. We will meet again upon the call of the General Conference Committee. Thank you.